from stomping on a woke opinion.
She screamed out, "You are a asshole for saying these things." I said, "Oh my God, I'm gonna kick this bitch in the face."
To humbling Eddie Murphy on his own SNL monologue.
You know, I followed your blueprint for my entire career.
Did you?
Yeah, I became the biggest star on television and then I quit.
Here are 10 Dave Chappelle harsh comebacks that shattered egos, starting with a loud girlfriend who Dave shut down for the rest of her life.
Huh? I seen your girl bubbling. She's drunk as hell, buddy. Listen, sir, I don't know what she's saying, but just take my advice. Get some water in her, or you're gonna have some dry pussy when you get home. His dick gonna be shaped the fuck up tomorrow.
But while this heckler voiced her disagreement, the next one decided to go full contact with it and got stopped for it.
Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for hip-hop history. I am going to kill that. Wait, I gotta see this.
Despite almost going down with the attack, though, Dave came back equally as strong.
Thank God that was clumsy. He's back there getting stomped. It was a trans man.
Arranging an ambulance for the guy, Dave explained why he needed one after their deep discussion.
Get that out of here. Don't do this on the stage. Get him the out of here. And an ambulance. I grabbed the back of his head. His hair was spongy. I've been doing this 35 years. I just stomped the backstage. Always wanted to do that.
When the guy's motive was revealed, however, it became apparent that Dave's trans joke might not have landed too far off.
A local man accused of attacking Dave Chappelle on stage says he was triggered by the comedian's jokes. Lee spoke from the Twin Towers Correctional Facility saying, "I identify as bisexual and I wanted him to know what he said was triggering. I wanted him to know that next time he should consider first running his material by people it could affect."
While the bi-furious assaulter tried to attack Dave himself, this news site tried to tank his esteem, only for Dave to edit the editor himself.
I don't know if you ever saw on TMZ the big headline, "Dave Chappelle drunk on stage in Detroit." Well, if you saw it, I wasn't drunk. I had smoked some reefer with some rappers. Yeah.
Rolling another twist into the headline, Dave reminded everyone who holds the lighter.
I don't know if you know anything about hanging out with rappers, but their weed is very strong. Stronger than what I was accustomed to. The article goes on to say I was booed off stage, which is also incorrect. I was booed. I did not leave.
And only one puff blew away Dave's show, like his smoke cloud.
I never had that happen. When I take 2 puffs of weed, I looked at the guy next to me, I was like, I'm gonna bomb. I can feel it. You know, normally when you do a comedy show, you guys don't know what it looks like up here, but he's looking up at you like. That's how the show started. Didn't take long for the faces to switch up like, what the f-?
Little did Dave know, however, that his blow-offs were going to cause his fans to blow up.
I knew I wasn't doing good. I don't remember what I was saying. It just took one person to break the ice. It's a black lady with a Ford Motor shirt on. She stood up suddenly. "Fuck you, Dave Chappelle." I said, "Excuse me?" She said, "I worked all week for this and this show sucked."
With his entire crowd in pitchforks, Dave crashed down from his high, directly onto his crowd's expectations.
The whole crowd band together and started chanting, "We want our money back. We want our money back." I said, "Oh, shit." I snapped out of it. "Good people of Detroit, hear me, you will never get your money back." That.
Disappointed from blowing smoke, Dave decided to help everyone blow bubblegum instead.
Said, "I'm like Evel Knievel. I get paid for the attempt." I didn't promise this would be good. This went on for a long time. And then after the show, I felt so bad, I took half of the money from the show, thousands of dollars. I said, I'm gonna give this to charity. You know what I did? I bought $25,000 worth of bubble gum.
Before Detroit could get happy, however, Dave ignited the city like the rest of his joints.
Drove around Detroit and handed it out to the homeless so they could chew it and still be hungry. I was very mad at Detroit that night because not only did I bomb, I had to go back to the very same room the next night and do it all over again.
But while Detroit was mad, they weren't as mad as this next feminist, who took a page out of the bisexual attacker's book and almost got the same treatment as him.
At the time I just saw this shadowy figure charging up the aisle towards me in full fight mode. I was horrified. I said, oh my God, I'm gonna kick this bitch in the face.
The stage rush saga started when Dave was doing his usual dark material.
I was on stage not too long ago. I was in Syracuse, New York. Yeah, for Syracuse, but the show didn't go so good. All because I was talking about Bill Cosby a little bit. Not a little bit, I'll be honest. Talked about him for like maybe 25 minutes.
When that material triggered a Karen, Dave said sorry, not for his jokes, but for her.
And a woman stood up in the back of the room and she screamed out, "You are a asshole for saying these things." I know. Instantly, I felt, like bad. Not bad about what I was saying. I just felt bad, like, oh, that's too bad she doesn't like the show.
When things took a physical turn, though, the trigger sprinter was this close to being victim 2.0 of the Chappelle stampede.
Not only did she say that, she was rushing the stage. By the time I just saw this shadowy figure charging up the aisle towards me in full fight mode. I was horrified. I said, oh my God, I'm gonna kick this bitch in the face.
With security restraining the stage rager's body, Dave's response silenced her mouth.
Lucky for me, I didn't have to. Security tackled her, but it was a really horrifying scene. Scuffle ensued, and then, finally, she screamed out to me, "Women suffer." I said, I know.
Echoing his message to the rest of the feminists, Dave let them know he was on their side.
And ladies, I need you to know that I know. Seriously, there's a lot of men in this room that identify themselves as feminists. I would include myself in that. Don't ever forget, we all have mothers and daughters and sisters and wives, and we want to see all these women do well.
And Dave let the justice junkie know how ironic her outrage was.
As this woman was wrestling and screaming at me, I started to take offense. And I'm gonna be honest, race was involved. She was a young white woman, well-intentioned, but it's like not thinking it all the way through. How the f are you going to yell at a black man about discrimination?
Agreeing with all her takes, Dave almost switched to feminism himself until he heard the last line.
She didn't get it. She just kept going. Women suffer. I know. Women suffer. Same team. Women suffer. I know. And this is where she went too far. We suffer just like you. Slow your roll.
Before security took her away, Dave shared one final lesson on suffering.
Suffering is suffering. What's the difference? I said, come on, white woman, you know what it is. You was in on the heist. You just don't like your cut. You suffer. I suffer. You suffer. I suffer. That's how it works. Can't do comparative suffering.
Just like this woke Karen misinterpreted his words for outrage, another blogger from her species did the same to slander Dave.
Recently, I got attacked online by some gay bloggers, and it hurt my feelings. I have no problem with gay people, but I fucking hate bloggers. I'm not saying it because this person was gay. They was acting like a bitch online. They was like mischaracterizing my jokes, trying to make a point off of me.
Soon, Dave typed out his own heinous allegations, according to the blogger.
Yo, I'm your ally, motherfucker. I'm not trying to stop gay people. I got better shit to do. This motherfucker was saying things to try to get gay people to beat me up. Seriously, he was like, Dave Chappelle's jokes. I don't know how he actually talks. I'm just making his voice up. Dave Chappelle's jokes were an affront to the manhood of all gay men.
Fact-checking the headline live, Dave explained what he really thought of gay people.
What the fuck does that mean? I didn't say anything that would allude to gay men not being men. I know you meant. In fact, what could be manlier than fucking another guy in the It's the most gangster shit I've ever heard of in my life.
On that same gangster note, Bill shared the story of a classmate who took a sharp left from gang signs to rainbow flags.
Okay, I've been through this before. I had a friend from high school. Now, in high school, this guy was a thug, Will, right? He was a fucking dope boy. He did it all. He's a wild dude. People used to be very scared of him. And then after high school, word on the street was he'd come out the closet. I personally didn't believe it.
With their mini-school reunion, Dave asked the guy a question that quizzed him since high school.
I bring him up because last year, he calls me out of the blue like, yo, what's up, man? I got your number from so-and-so, and I heard you're going to be in New York doing a show. Could I get some tickets? I was like, okay, get some tickets, man. How you been? And I was about to hang up, and I couldn't resist. I was just like, Hey, nigga, I heard you was gay. What's going on with that?
But little did Dave know how much he would regret asking that question.
And I wish I didn't ask. Because he sounded like he was dying to talk about that shit. And he had a long story about it. But I was trying to sound supportive. I didn't really know what to say. So I was just like mumbling throughout this conversation. I was just like, you know, you gay, man. You just gay.
When Dave tried executing an exit strategy, though, it almost put him on the hood hit list.
This went on for a while, and then finally I had to say something like definitive to get him off the phone. And I was like, hey, man, you know what? Don't let people get you down, all right? And the next time someone tries to make you feel bad about yourself, just remember, everybody's funny to somebody. He didn't like that.
Fortunately for Dave, he had a plan B ready to fall back on.
Like, what the f does that mean? I said, huh? He said, you saying I'm funny, motherfucker? I said, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying everybody's different. He said, you ain't say different, nigga. You said funny. What's so fucking funny about the way I fuck? And I said, hey, man, I feet. He said, what?
Instead of backing off, however, Dave finished his story by doubling down Quentin Tarantino style.
Oh, this is not a joke, ladies and gentlemen. I get women to squeeze their feet together like this, and I fuck them right in that little space in their feet. But you can't build a community behind that. There's no flag for us.
Unfortunately for Dave, that wasn't the only time a reporter twisted his punchlines into clickbait, and it happened again when he was sharing why he voted for Hillary in the 2016 election.
I voted for her because I liked what she said vastly better than I liked what he said. But to be honest with you, at that point, that shit was like watching Darth Vader do the I Have a Dream speech.
And Dave let the audience know how it felt choosing the lesser of the two evils.
That bitch is mean as hell. She'd already Karate Kid swept Bernie Sanders' legs from underneath him. Boy, it was hard voting for that shit. It didn't feel bad voting for her, but it didn't feel as good as it should have. She was going to be our first woman president. They were going to make coins out of this bitch.
The metaphor Dave gave to his voting process, though, caught everyone off guard.
And somehow she just missed the dunk. Of course she should have beat him. Of course she should have beat him. You know what voting for her felt like? It was bittersweet. It felt like I was lucky enough to eat Halle Berry's pussy.
Not stopping there, Dave perfectly summed up why the Hillary vote smelled so foul.
And whilst I was doing so, she farted in my face, man. You understand, I'd still do it. But boy, I wish she didn't fart in this great nation's face.
But the real fiasco started when a woke reporter heard the same joke. And this is where the comeback begins.
I voted that day, and then that same day I flew to New York City. That night I was in a comedy club in New York, and I said to an audience almost exactly what I just said to you. And I didn't know that there was a journalist in the room. And this journalist wrote an article.
Unsurprisingly, the next morning hit Dave with an insane headline.
The headline of the article said, Dave Chappelle is an avid Donald Trump supporter. Yeah, I had no idea the paper said that. And you know how I found out? My wife called me from Ohio the next morning in a goddamn panic.
Instead of getting shocked, however, Dave was just relieved it wasn't another cancellation.
David, what the is going on in New York? I said, I'm being good, but what have you heard? The paper is saying that you're a Donald Trump supporter. I was like, whew. I said, don't worry about that, baby.
But when even his own community let him down, Dave gave them a final dunk before moving on.
Nobody in their right mind would believe that. And she said, no, David, people believe it. And then she started reading the comments to me. Oh, they were terrible. All these black people calling me all kinds of Uncle Toms and shit. How am I Uncle Tom? You the one that reads The Observer?
But Dave's biggest betrayal didn't come from his community. It came from the very industry he helped build and then tear down piece by piece in the biggest expose of the decade.
This fucking industry is a monster. It's the same monster that these Me Too was trying to tell you about. But they hate the monster for how it and I hate that monster for how it eats. But my God, man, it's the same monster.
The grim tale began when Dave was 15 years old and wrote a joke so good that a comedian came asking for it.
After he saw the joke and he said, listen, I got an audition at another comedy club and I was wondering, do you mind if I do that joke? I just want to borrow it. Now,
I'm a kid. I don't know any better. I'm like, borrow it? Well, I guess, sure, if it'll help your career.
But teenage Dave's kindness was quickly exploited.
And then weeks later, I was waiting to go on in a comedy club, and he went on before me, and he did the joke. And after the show, I pulled him aside and I said, hey, man, I don't mind you borrowing my jokes, but you gotta give them back. He goes, let me buy that joke from you for $50.
When Dave tried standing up for his work, however, the world sat him right down.
I said, I can't do it. I want my joke back. I'll never forget this. Remember, I was a 15-year-old child. This guy was a grown man. He stood up over me so I could see how big he was. And he said to me, really? I can just take it.
And Dave explained how his 47-year-old self still hadn't got over his 15-year-old self's trauma.
And he did. I got scared because I was a child. But I never forgot that. I never forgot that. I was 15 years old. I'm 47 now. I think about this guy all the time.
As if a grown man stealing his efforts as a kid wasn't enough, he experienced the same fate as an adult as well.
People think I made a lot of money for Chappelle's show. When I left that show, I never got paid. They didn't have to pay me because I signed the contract. But is that right? I found out that these people were streaming my work, and they never had to ask me.
Not stopping at his money, the industry monster ate Dave's identity too.
Tell you the truth, I've even thought about coming back and doing another Chappelle show. But if I do, I can't call it Chappelle Show because my name and likeness is being used by them in perpetuity throughout the universe. It's in the contract.
And for all their allegations, Dave gave them a wound to show how bad his own were.
They said I was crazy. What was crazy about it? I just didn't want to do it anymore. They said I smoked. That's impossible. I was a devout Muslim. I didn't smoke or drink. But I do now because you ruined my life.
Turning to his fans, Dave explained that the only way to kill the monster is to starve it.
I'm begging you, if you ever liked me, if you ever think there was anything worthwhile about me, I'm begging you, please don't watch that show. I'm not asking you to boycott any network. Boycott me. Boycott Chappelle's show. Do not watch it unless they pay me.
Then, addressing the culprits directly, Dave listed his ransom list for the release of his own paycheck.
Go downstairs to your accounting department, open the books, see what that show made, and look at what you paid me. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I am inviting you to come with me.
And to finish them once and for all, Dave dropped one of the coldest lines in comedy history.
And let's fight against that terrible, terrible feeling that you made me feel together. We can fight together and work this thing with Chappelle's show out. Or I can just take it. Thank you.
While 2020 Dave was brutally honest with his destruction of the industry, 2006 Dave took it to the next level with his subtle mockery during his interview with Conan.
It just got out of control. Like I was in Africa, and next thing I know, I started hearing all the stories like comedian Dave Chappelle's in a mental institution in South Africa. And I was like, man, I must be losing my mind. Yeah. Because I thought this was the beach.
The interview started with Dave recounting his homely trip to Africa.
He disappeared for a while. People were saying, where's Dave? Where's Dave Chappelle? Where's he going? And then it turns out you took a trip to Africa. Is that true?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It wasn't like they said. I went to Africa to chill, and I tell you, you hear a lot of black people say this, like when you go to Africa, especially your first time, you have this overwhelming feeling like you're home.
And when Conan echoed the industry's allegations, Dave's mockery hit harder than any rumor they spread.
I think I felt that way because there's a McDonald's in the airport.
But soon, Dave also explained that the rumors came with their own benefits.
Everybody calls me crazy, you know, I mean, it was just...
You're hearing on the news things like he's gone crazy, which that didn't sound right, you know? And
well, you know, maybe I know stuff people don't want me to talk about, so
right.
we're going to what other people believe. So they'll call me crazy. But it was a weird thing to get called crazy. At first it was scary, and then now I feel like it's liberating.
Before wrapping up, Dave warned the industry that there was nothing holding him back anymore.
I feel free, like I can just say what I want to do what I want. They already call me crazy. I can't hold myself accountable for these things. I'm crazy. I can't
it's
be
not your fault.
responsible.
Yeah. What was the reason that you went to Africa? Was there a reason that you decided to go to Africa?
Well, there are a few reasons, but I mean, you know, if you a black dude trying to hide, Africa is a good place.
Not stopping at torching the industry, Dave didn't shy away from grilling one of their legends either on their own SNL monologue.
Hey, Ed. Did you get my sketch?
Oh, yeah.
It's
right.
the one where T.I. has the drive-through gynecology clinic.
But I really get that one.
And for that misunderstanding, Dave dunked on the legend and his legacy too.
You know, I followed your blueprint for my entire career.
Did you?
Yeah, I became the biggest star on television, and then I quit.
You know, I didn't know you could smoke on stage here.
You can't.
Proving that Dave always comes with harsh comebacks to keep egos in check.